Hey y'all, it's Megan, and in this tutorial, we are making these little mini stockings that hold a gift card or money, or you could put little lip gloss or makeup, hair ties, things like that inside. They're very easy to make and easy to customize for whoever you're gifting them to. You need to cut two stocking pieces in a lining. They need to be mirror images. Then two top stocking pieces in your main fabric, also mirror images. You could also cut two stockings in batting if you want it to be fluffy. Then you need one cuff piece and one loop piece that I've pressed like binding, so in half, then the edges to the center, and then one more time folded. And then there's little heel and toe pieces if you want to add them. They are optional. So the first step is going to be to add those optional heel and toe pieces. You're just going to line them up on your main stocking and you're going to stitch around them. You can use your machine with a longer straight stitch or a zigzag, or you could even hand stitch them on, whichever you like the look of better. Then you're going to take your other main stocking and you're going to put it right sides together, and we're going to sew around the entire stocking with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then you're going to do the same thing with your lining pieces, but you want to leave an opening on the side of the stocking. So about 2-3 inches, just leave an opening on the side so that we can turn it right sides out later. Next, we're going to trim down those seams and clip the curve. So I like to use my pinking shears for this step. You're just going to trim all along where you stitched it together. On the portion that you left unsewn, then you're not going to trim that part. You're just going to press that portion back that's unsewn by a 1/4 inch to the wrong side. That'll just make it easier closing that opening later. Then you're going to also trim down and clip the curves on the main stocking as well. Then you can take it to your ironing board and give both of them a nice press, and you can go ahead and flip the main stocking right side out and then set those aside for a moment. You'll take your cuff piece and you're going to fold it in half with the right sides together, and you're going to stitch it together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once it's stitched, you're going to press this seam open and then fold the cuff onto itself with wrong sides together. And you're going to place it over your main stocking. I like to align that cuff seam with the outside seam on the stocking. And then you're going to take your loop piece that you have pressed like bias and you are going to edge stitch it closed. And then you're going to fold it in half to create a loop and put it on the outside seam of the stocking. And then you're just going to baste that in place to hold the loop. Next, make sure your main stocking is right side out and your lining stocking is wrong side out. And you're going to place the main stocking inside of the lining so that they are right sides together. And you're going to align the seams and make sure all the raw edges along the top are matching. And then you're going to sew the tops together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once they are sewn together, if you want to trim down that seam, you can. And then you're going to flip it right side out through that opening we left in the lining. Give it a nice press, and then you're going to close the opening that we left. You can use a few hand stitches or just close it with your machine, which is what I do. And then you're going to press the lining inside of the main stocking. And then your little stocking is complete once you give it a nice press. And again, these fit a gift card or money or little trinkets inside perfectly. If you make one, we would love to see them posted in our Facebook group or tag us on Instagram at Made for Mermaids, hashtag Made for Mermaids Patterns.